Yo, what's going on? I am Jay Cartere, and this is the Jay Cartere Show Podcast. Now, honestly, well, it's Friday today. I was going to not record a episode this week because there wasn't really anything that I wanted to talk about. But I remembered that I did want to make this podcast talking about my thoughts on religion. I've wanted to make a podcast on this for some time, but I wanted to be prepared. I wanted to have the facts and all this sort of shit. But to be honest, when people are trying to preach their religion to you, they don't come with the facts and stuff, so we should be fine. But that's a little bit of a joke, but I am also serious at the same time. But I know that a lot of people will be triggered by this podcast if they're heavily religious or anything like that. So first of all, I just want to let you know I respect and what's the word? Is respect the word? I think respect is the only word. I respect your ability to hold beliefs and you wanting to hold these beliefs. That's fair enough. If you believe in God, you believe in whatever religion you believe in, then and that makes you happy, then do your thing, man. I'm not here to tell you don't believe in religion, don't do this, don't do anything. I'm not here to tell anyone how to live their lives. I never want to do that because I believe everyone should do what's best for them. I obviously want to help people be better if I can, but I'm not the one to say you shouldn't do this, you should do this. You should know what's best for you, basically. I'm not in a position to be saying, yo, you need to do this is going to be better for you or whatever. So yeah, we got that out of the way. First of all, I want to share my experience with religion to basically kind of tell you guys where I'm coming from. Then I'll share some information that I just read on Wikipedia, for being honest. And then I'll go into, what I think about religion and how I approach it and, all that sort of stuff. So first of all, my experience with religion. Now, I didn't grow up especially religious, but I remember knowing about the existence of God. I don't remember my mother forcing religion onto me or anything like that, but I do know that it was a thing that was somewhere. Honestly, don't think my mom takes religion that seriously. I don't even know if she's religious. I'll ask her when I see her, if she cares about God and religion or anything like that. I doubt it. I've never heard her come to me and be like, oh well, God wouldn't like that or anything like this. Never been dealing with that sort of BS. But yeah, I knew that there was that I knew about the concept of God, basically. And yeah, I don't think my mom was very serious about religion because she had a Bible, but the first few pages were missing. Because I remember there was one point in my life where I wanted to consume all the religious texts. I wanted to read the Torah, the Bible, the Quran. I wanted to get through all of them. Now I look back and I'm like, wow, that would have been a really boring assignment. But I tried and I had to start from, I don't know, let's say page 30 of the Bible, because the Bible that my mum had, the first few pages were missing. So I tried to start from page whatever and tried to get into it, and it was super boring, super boring. And it just wasn't for me, innit? It wasn't for me. So I haven't read the Bible, I haven't read the Quran, I haven't read the Torah or anything like this. But to me, they're just man-made texts anyways. It's not really necessary for me to read them. But if you are religious and you follow a certain religion, then I think you should probably read the religious text that your religion is based on. Because I know a lot of people who are quote-unquote religious who haven't read the religious text that their religion is based on, who haven't done, basic research into their religion and haven't questioned anything because they've just been taught, don't question anything. This is what happens. If you question stuff, you get to hell, which I think is a great way to scam people, to be honest. That's a great scam. Imagine if I just invented something, I invented some sort of concept and I was like, yo, man, them, listen to me, give me 20% of what you make and you will go to heaven. And I gave you a bunch of other stories that kind of made this sound like it was believable, yeah? And you was like, well, you know, how does this work? And I was like, wait, cuz if you ask questions, you're going to hell. No questioning. Don't question this thing. Don't question the validity of this thing, because that will make you automatically go to hell. You got to just believe it. You got to have faith. Otherwise, it won't work for you. The people who, you know, have critical thinking abilities will be like, I smell a scam. And some other people will be like, oh, this is great. Oh, I need something to believe in, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they'll just fall along with it. But, yeah, basically, that's my experience with religion. Like, I've had people around me who are religious. I think both of my brothers kind of believe in religion. I don't know if they're, like, super religious or anything. I'm unsure where my sisters are at in terms of religion and stuff, but I tend to not try and talk about religion with people because I don't care. I don't want to hear about people discussing their religion or anything like that, because I really don't want to hear any of that BS. And most people, they're not open to listening to the other side. Like, if I have a discussion with someone who's religious, I'm very open to hearing real points about why this religion makes sense, and I'm open to actually discussing it, but they need to be open to my points of why it seems like a scam and it seems a bit silly. And people who are really, really religious generally do not want to hear anything against their religion. They just want to sit in their bubble and act like, you know, their thing is right and anyone who says anything else is completely wrong. And I don't think that's a great way to be. I think you need to be open to other perspectives. You need to be open to other information. And I feel like when people are open to other perspectives and open to more information, that's when they stop being so religious. And that may not be the case for some people. Of course, some people may be open to other things, and that may help make their faith even stronger. And, you know, that's great for them. That's great for them. But yeah, that's basically my experience with religion. Not super religious. Religion wasn't super forced on me. I was never told, you have to be religious or you're getting disowned or anything like that. It was just like something that kind of existed. And yeah, I was looking into some information about the origins of religion, because my thought is, you know, how did people in Africa and all these sorts of places start believing in shit like Christianity? And I personally believe that that came about, like, all these people in these areas like Africa and the Caribbean and stuff learned about Christianity generally through, you know, it being forced on them, like through slavery and shit. But of course, there were also people who, you know, were sent out. I'm unsure what the name is of people who did that. It's not crusaders. They're not crusaders. That was people who went out and murdered people in the name of religion. Apostles or something, like just people who went around teaching, innit? I know someone knows the word, but it's not on the top of my head right about now. But basically, these people would go around the world to try and convert people to their religion, innit? And I think that's one of the cases where religion spread, but also it was also forced upon people. And I think that religion being forced upon people is still played out today, because people still are like in that mentality that this religion is all that exists, and I gotta believe this. Like, you'll see some hilariously religious black people talking about you need Jesus and all this sort of shit, and it's like, well, when was Jesus introduced to you? Like, can you go back in your family tree and pinpoint the time where Jesus was introduced to your family? And was it done through like ethical means, where someone had a conversation and was like, hey, maybe you should believe in this, and you know, the other party was like, that sounds interesting, let me do some research? Or was it forced upon your ancestors? And I think this is a really, really important thing. And some people will be like, well, you know, it doesn't matter if it was forced upon my ancestors, because it is is the holy truth. Like, they should have forced it upon us, but I think that's some BS, and you got some problems if you're thinking like that. You should be more critical with your thinking. But basically, organized religion it seemed to boom and seemed to come into prevalence around the time where agriculture boomed and came into prevalence. There's a term for the time where it happened. Let me get my laptop to load up so I can get the right terms. There's something beginning with P, I believe. It's not P at all. Organized religion traces its roots to the Neolithic revolution that began around 11,000 years ago. So basically, around this time, beforehand, like, humans generally were tribes of hunter-gatherers. They'd be out there killing things and gathering. Like, that's how they lived life. Like, if you needed to eat, you needed to go out and kill an animal and bring it back and be able to, eat that. Or maybe you went around and got a bunch of berries. Vegans would have had a very tough time in these times. Like, very, very tough. Vegans most likely would have died because they wouldn't have been able to keep up with the man them who were out there killing deer and eating bison or whatever. Like, they would have had no chance competing with those men. So basically, hunting and gathering was all the rage. And then humans started to incorporate agriculture, which is like growing shit. And that gave humans more time, time in their hands, less fear of, starvation and all that sort of stuff. And it basically promoted a sedentary lifestyle. Beforehand, man, them were active. They were out there on the strip, killing and pillaging and bringing shit home in order to eat. And when agriculture boomed, it was like, man could just wait for the grain to grow, or wait for the fruits to grow or whatever, and get that in it. So it promoted a much more sedentary lifestyle. And this basically led to the prominence of organized religion, as organized religion made it easier for people to coexist, like different types of people to coexist in a small area or to coexist together. Because prior to that, after the agricultural boom, there was increased birth rates and stuff. Let me actually bring up the Wikipedia page so I'm not chatting shit to you, man. But basically, there was a population explosion and an acceleration in the pace of technological development, and I think you could kind of understand why that's happening. If you got more time, you don't have to be out there hunting and living hand to mouth and worrying every day about where your food's gonna come from tomorrow. You got more time to figure out technology and deal with shit like that, but you also got more time to murder people. So religion was a great way to justify essential authority, so people would listen to that authority, and also to maintain peace between unrelated individuals and justify the transfer of wealth between unrelated individuals and the state taking money away from people and shit like that. It was basically a means of providing social and economic stability throughout the following ways: justifying the central authority, which in turn possessed the right to collect taxes in return for providing social and security services. And bands and tribes consist of a small number of related individuals. However, states and nations are composed of many thousands of unrelated individuals. And organized religion basically allowed people to create a bond between each other when they really didn't have much else in common. They had the religion in common. So it was a great way of controlling people and controlling the masses and making things run more smoothly, especially when you injected things like morality into the religion and tried to basically have a bunch of people thinking the same way and thinking the same morals and thinking, okay, maybe we shouldn't kill each other and all that sort of stuff. Prior to that, in the hunter-gatherer society, apparently the leading cause of death was murder. Like, man was just ouch it. I was just ouch him. I was like, what? You got that? I want that. Murder. Like that was how things were running. But then when religion came about, I was like, well, maybe you shouldn't be murdering. Maybe that shouldn't be how it goes. And maybe you should listen to the central authority, which may have been the king, which may have been the government, which may have been like anyone who was like, yo, God gave me power to rule you. And then everyone else was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Like, God told you can do it, so he must be right. So basically, religion was an effective means of controlling the populace. And I firmly believe that religion is a great way to control people. It's a great way to pacify people. It's a great way to make people, sit around and be like, oh, well, life is terrible, but if I pray hard enough and I have faith, then maybe things will change and things will come around and be the way I want them to be. And I think that's a really terrible way to live your life. But that's just my personal opinion. And yeah, so religion was a great way to pacify the masses and unify people. And, that could be you could look at that as a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on which way you look at it. If you come from a pragmatic approach, then you may say, it's a good thing that religion was brought about to progress society so that people would basically follow a moral code and listen to this shit and basically do what's quote unquote right and listen to the overwhelming power and not basically just have a bunch of chaos going on. And fair enough, that's fine. But it also, it's also just fucking brainwashing. It's a lot of propaganda and marketing and PR, and it does make people very, very passive and that sort of stuff. But I look at religion in a few ways. I honestly haven't really said what religion I am. I'm agnostic. I just wanted to get that out there. I do not firmly believe that there is a God or there isn't a God. I believe in facts. And as long as if someone is willing to bring evidence that God exists, I'm willing to listen to it. But right about now, I've seen no such thing. And it just seems like a bunch of BS to me. And I understand humans' innate need for religion. Now, religion was around way before organized religion. Like, people were worshipping gods and spirits and all these sort of supernatural things because humans just generally, they want to explain shit. So when things happen in nature that they can't explain, they're like, oh, well, maybe a man in the sky did it, or maybe this did it, or maybe that did it, or maybe it's a ghost. They try and explain it, they try and make it logical, they try and make some reason around it. And that's a very human thing. It's a very, thing for people with consciousness. And I think it's a very innate human desire to have something to believe in, have something to belong to. And a lot of people fall victim to religion because they just have that innate need. They really want something to believe in. They want to think that there's a higher power than themselves, so that it keeps them going, it keeps them motivated. And some people, they religion helps them. It helps them stay on a positive path. It helps them treat people better. It helps them follow a moral code. It helps them feel like they're part of a community. It helps them be more comfortable with the thought of death and the afterlife. And that's fair enough. That is fair enough. If you need religion as a coping mechanism and you think religion has a positive influence in your life, then by all means, keep on hitting that religion hard. No worries there. Do your thing. Express your religion how you will. Don't go and try and force people to join your religion, because that's hella annoying. Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on people's doors, leave it out, man. Leave it out. I remember the word for people who go around and try to convert people. I'm losing it. I've got to pause because I've almost got it. Missionaries is the word. It's also a sex position. But basically, so people just have this innate need to believe in something because people have this innate need to make everything make sense around them. And I understand that and I sympathize with that. Me personally, I don't have that innate need. Like, I don't need to believe in something bigger than myself. I personally believe we're all animals. Like, that's all we are. And I think some people, you know, they want to believe that humans are more than they are. They want to believe that they're special and all this sort of shit. I just believe we're animals, you know, where we got a brain, we got intelligence and shit, but at the end of the day, our only purpose, like our only real purpose, is to procreate. Like that's our purpose: to survive, procreate, then die. Like that's the purpose of pretty much any animal, and that's why, you know, people want to have sex so much. You want to procreate, and then you die. That is basically what, you know, your base instincts are telling you to do. All this other shit is just seasoning on top. Like, it ain't really necessary, but, you know, we've put ourselves in a technologically advanced civilization where we feel like other things are necessary, and, you know, we've got money and commerce and all this sort of shit that basically makes us feel like we're more civilized than other animals, and we are the top of the food chain, even if lions can fuck us up, because we can then jump in a helicopter and shoot that lion from a mile away. A mile might be a bit mad. I'm not sure what kind of fucking abilities snipers have, but, you know, we can create tools and other stuff that make us more powerful. Like, you know, one day you'll see men in Iron Man suits, and, you know, we'll definitely be at the top of the food the food chain. But yeah, that innate need to believe in something is what draws a lot of people to religion. That innate need to be a part of something is what draws a lot of people to religion. Me personally, I don't have the need to believe in something that has no logical basis. Like, religion, all these religious texts were just written by people, and it was written ages after the fact that these stories were supposed to happen. So first of all, it's secondhand information. Then it's like secondhand information passed down by men who are just humans who can make mistakes and who can definitely lie to suit their agenda. Like, in this day and age, if someone was to create a religion, like, most people would be like, oh, that's a cult. Or they'd be like, that's silly. Or something like that. Like, when Scientology came out, there are people, like, they are very skeptical towards it because it's something new. And, you know, when you've got a bit of critical thinking, you're like, wait a minute. That's a bit of BS. Like, man, I'm saying aliens and all this sort of shit are residing in our bodies and all this sort of crap. That sounds a bit weird. But, you know, when you look at all these religions that have been here for ages, people are like, well, you know, this is believable. Like, man came back to life and shit, and, you know, God exists and he does all this stuff, but he won't come around these days because he just doesn't want to or something, but he'll come around eventually at some point. You just got to wait it out. Like, people will believe that, but they won't believe in an alien called Zenu who sent a bunch of souls to Earth and shit like that. Like, come on, if you're gonna believe one, you gotta understand the validity of the other one. If it's not based in fact, it's not based in logic and reason, it's not based in things that you can prove on a day-to-day basis, and it sounds like outrageous stories that are extremely exaggerated, then, you know, that's probably what it is. If you got a critical thinking mind, you'll be like, that's a bit exaggerated. I don't really believe what man's saying. But, you know, if anyone came to me with second-hand information, even if it was first-hand information, just some random guy was like, yo, this is what happened, I'm not gonna believe it straight up. I'm very critical. I've got critical thinking skills, so I'm not gonna straight up believe anything that someone says to me. I don't believe people like that. I know that people lie. Like, I know that people lie. And I think most people should know that at this point in their life that people are capable of lying. And yeah. So I believe religion a lot of religions were started to control people, to benefit people who wanted to benefit themselves. So I don't know the exact circumstances around it, but if a man is writing up a bunch of shit and he's writing up a bunch of shit with a bunch of his buddies, it feels like it's probably going to be some BS. It's not going to be, you know, this message sent down from God. I think it's more realistic that a bunch of guys was like, yo, a bunch of con men was like, yo, let's write some BS and see what happens. Like, them man were doing it. Like, them man got bare rich off this thing. They created churches and that. Let's see if we can do it. And then, you know, some of them did it and they were successful. And I was like, whoa, let's keep this going. And then it's just been continuing to go. And then different sects of the religion break off and do their own thing because they want their own little thing to be successful. And they have their own little scam going and their own little pyramid scheme, basically. And it's all wild. It's all wild. I just would encourage people to look at religions and religious beliefs with a little bit more critical thinking. Personally, I believe most of this shit is fake. It seems like most of the shit is fake, but as I said, I'm agnostic. If you come to me with the facts, not your beliefs, not how you feel. If you come to me with the facts, then I'm always willing to change my mind. But again, what I'm saying is generally based on my beliefs. It's not based on any facts. So I'm not here to try and change anyone's mind. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the matter of religion. I think it's very, very interesting. Do I think religion is positive or negative? I think it can be both. I think there are some people who take it a bit too seriously and go a bit left and are like very extreme with their religion, or people who are just intolerable of other people's choices that don't affect them due to their religion, and people who try to use their religion to justify their judgment of others. I think that's terrible. People who justify using religion to kill people and start wars and shit, that is terrible. But when religion is used to pacify people, which sounds terrible, and it is terrible in some cases, but you know, it is what it is. If you don't want to be pacified, you don't need to be pacified. You could use critical thinking skills, but you know, that isn't too common out here. Like, when it's used to basically create some sort of moral fiber for people, and people use religion in a positive way that helps them move on a positive path to basically being nice to people around them and following the positive parts of religion and, you know, trying to help the world and help make the world a better place, then, you know, that's good. That's not too bad. Like, I think that religion is necessary. Maybe not in this day and age. I think more people could just not believe in religion and still have morals. Like, I have morals, but I don't believe in religion or anything. I'm not gonna go kill someone because it's illegal. Like, we got laws, but still, like, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't want to kill people anyways. If there was no law against it, would I be out here murdering? I don't know, but I probably would have done some murders when I was younger if there was no laws against it and murder was just out here and people could like just do that for fine. I probably would have considered murder a lot more prevalently than I do in this day and age where, you know, stuff like that is illegal. But I think laws do what they need to do. Basically, laws stop people from doing BS, and I think, you know, religious people can still do BS and stuff, so it really doesn't protect people from that so much. But I do think that religion does help pacify people and maybe keep people on the straight and narrow, so to speak. And it can help people stray away from paths that are negative and not in their best interest. But also, there are many other things that can do that. I don't think religion is the be-all and end-all of, you know, that. I think people can find some other sort of community. They can go and start working out and get really heavy into that community. You know, working out on a regular basis it takes a lot of discipline. You'll be healthier. you'll probably become more confident and shit like that. And there's many other groups that people can join if they want to. Like, religion isn't the only way to get that thing out of life, but I do get people needing to believe that this was created for some reason and they've got some sort of purpose, and there's a reason for everything and all this sort of shit. I don't believe there's a reason for everything. I don't believe I have any higher purpose other than the purpose that I've given myself, which is to help young Black entrepreneurs, generally, minorities. It doesn't matter if you're white and stuff. Like, you can listen to my stuff, but in the future, I want to help young Black entrepreneurs, build businesses and take themselves out of poverty and that sort of stuff. That is my purpose, and that's what I want to do, and I want to spread that. And that's like my overall goal in life, basically. So that I've created my own purpose, but a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't do that for themselves because they just don't have that mental fortitude there, and they need something else to come and give them that. So I understand that, but personally, I just believe in myself, and I believe in doing shit myself. Like, when something succeeds, it's my fault. When something fails, it's my fault. I don't believe God gave me the special magic pixie dust that made this thing work, or that he just wasn't listening that day when it didn't work. I think that really limits your responsibility. And I think taking responsibility for your actions and all that sort of stuff, and your successes and failures is really, really important if you want to achieve anything in life. And I think passing those responsibilities onto someone else kind of is detrimental to your journey, generally. Sometimes people can do that and they can, still maintain success and still be able to, do these things and whatnot. But I do see a lot of people using religion as a crutch and not moving forward in what they want to achieve. And yeah, I could talk about religion for ages, but I don't want to bore you guys. But basically, I'm agnostic. I don't believe, like, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is a God or there isn't a God. I'm not an atheist who would definitely believe that there is no God, but I'm highly skeptical because I believe in facts. I don't believe in BS. I don't believe in people's feelings. I don't believe in things for the sake of believing in it. I don't believe in having faith in something just because someone told you that this is true. I believe that is being very, very ignorant and being very naive to the fact that people are lying, cheating bastards. Like, let's be real. People are out here being lying, cheating bastards. So why am I going to believe some random guy that's saying this shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me personally. But if you want to believe in religion, and if religion is doing great for you, then you keep on doing you. If religion has somehow been detrimental to your life, and there are tough religious people around you who are saying, oh, you have to do this, and you don't like doing that shit, bruv, get out of it. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. If you can live by your own moral code and follow the law, because the laws are already there, like, then good for you. You don't really need the framework of religion to be a good person. I think that's definitely not necessary. But I do believe that it's great in pacifying people and keeping some people out of trouble and keeping chaos low generally. But I think we could transition to a more secular society where people just believe in following the law. Like, I believe that can happen. And I believe there are a lot of people out there who are atheists or agnostic or don't believe in religion, who don't go out and murder people and rape and steal and do all this sort of shit because they have a moral code and they don't want to betray that. And I think that's definitely possible as well. Both things are possible and viable options. But yeah, you do what you want to do. And I think that has concluded my thoughts on religion. It's a bit all over the place, and I know there are going to be some salty bastards in the fucking comments, saying all this sort of stuff, like saying I'll go to hell or whatever. But I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what you're saying, because if you are so religious that you cannot have a logical conversation with me, then you're past the point of no return, and I don't care what you say. It doesn't really matter. Although I don't really give a shit what you say, and it doesn't really matter anyways if I'm not doing business with you, because you're just some random person with an opinion online. Although I do want to hear the discussion from both sides, and I do want to hear other people's thoughts on this. So if you are very religious, whatever religion you are, please leave a comment down below. Let me know why you got into this religion. It seems like a lot of people get into religion because their parents gave it to them, or their family or their community passed it down to them, and they've just unquestionably believed what's going on and have just, you know, they just do what has been done, and it's just tradition basically. But I want to hear how you got into religion, why you're still in religion if you are, if you stopped being religious, why that happened, like when that happened, how it happened, that sort of stuff. I really want to hear about people's different experiences, because I think it's very, very interesting, and I really want to know, and I want to have a discussion. Please, if you are offended, just fuck off. I can't be bothered with you, man. But if you were able to listen to this and not get butthurt, and you're able to engage in an actual conversation with someone who has different beliefs than you, then please comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. Please like and subscribe if you're listening to this on YouTube. Leave a review if you're listening to it on the Apple Podcast app. You know, leave a comment on SoundCloud and all this sort of shit as well. And yeah, thanks for watching and liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Peace out. If you want to learn how I got over 23,000 subscribers and millions of views on my YouTube gaming channel, then you are in luck. Sign up to this free course right now. Link will be in the card, in the description, and in the pinned comment. Or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. In this course, you will learn the best way to write your video titles, tags, and descriptions to help you rank on the first page of YouTube. It's simple when you know what to do. I'll also show you a hack that will help you choose the right key phrases and help you create videos that can rank and get views no matter what game you play. Stop struggling to grow your YouTube gaming channel and start doing what works. Click on the link in the description or go to growonyoutube.com/20k SEO course. This course will not be up forever, so get in there as soon as possible. I hope to see you here soon, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey of turning your passion into your career.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. So all this warmth I share with you,